I get out of the trap that Satan had me in, and I look back, and I said, what was I thinking? The truth is, I wasn't thinking. So I've been delivered from Satan, so now I went from getting high, getting drunk, to being a son of God, and now, shocker of shocks, I'm rich and famous. And you say there's no God? The problem with fame, one, it's a big headache. Two is, fame can't remove my sin or yours. It can't do it. And on top of that, you say, well, Phil, you said you were rich. It's not going to help me when it comes to being raised from the dead. All the money in the world is never going to be able to raise me from the dead, right? Better keep first things first. We have humanism and atheism and agnosticism and, postmodernism and materialism. Ism. That's all I heard in college. This ism, that ism, this ism, that ism. You know what they're all about? They're all trying to get around this story right here. And none of them have succeeded. All of you, they're going to have your funeral and mine. You can go, yeah, they're going to have my funeral one of these days, and they're going to have Phil's too. You can go like that, or you can say, like the guy told me one time, you're not going to put that on me. You're not going to tell me I'm going to die. I said, oh, you're going to die. He said, no, sir, buddy. He gets up, he said, no, wait. I wanted to tell him the good news about the resurrection of Jesus, but he was saying, I'm not going to die. I said, oh, you're going to die. So we're arguing about it, whether it's going. I said, well, everybody else has. And so are you, dude. Live with it. Face it. I argued with him for 30 minutes trying to convince him he was going to die. He left my house saying, ain't nobody telling me that kind of junk. 6 weeks goes by, and the guy that brought him, he said, you know the dude that was arguing with you about dying, Phil? I said, I remember him. He said, he just did. I said, what happened to him? He said he was knifed to death in a bar right up the road. I just wonder, when he hit the ground, hit the floor, I wonder if he thought about our conversation. God had spoken to him through me 6 weeks earlier. No takers. He said, nope, I will not die. I said, he's the only human I've ever run up on. I've run up on a lot of them said they didn't sin. Of course, they were lying, which is a sin. But he was the only one I've ever run up on who said, I'm not going to die. I said, oh, you're going to die. Face it. So are all of you, Texas. If in the beginning God did not create the heavens and the earth, if that's not what happened, you're not getting out of here. So what's the scoop? You have two problems you cannot fix. You can't fix them. One is you came out of your mother. I mentioned that earlier. You know what? You weren't a sinner because you didn't know what the law said. You didn't know what lying was. You're about 2 hours old. You're in a little crib or you're at your mother's breast. You say, you don't know what stealing is. But when you hit them teenage years along in there somewhere, something happened. The commandments started coming, and you did understand. What you had from Adam, what you inherited from him, was the ability to know the difference between you had the knowledge of good and evil. Remember what God told Adam? Don't eat over there. Because if you do, you eat of that tree, you'll know not only what good is, but what evil is. You don't want to go there. because if you do, you're going to die. Well, every last one of us found out what evil was at some point. So you violate one of God's commands. You say, how many does it take? Just one. And you've been dead in your sins ever since. You used to be dead in your sins and transgressions in which you used to live, for the saved here. When you follow the ways of the world and you followed the ruler of the kingdom of the air, the spirit who works in those who are disobedient, you're like, oh my goodness. So when physical death comes along and you're already spiritually dead in your sins, you're cut off forever, eternally. God's not like our government. Can't pay him off. Can't rope-a-dope him, get around him. You say, God is just. So for the saved here, I'm like, be thankful and you are blessed because your sins have been forgiven. Your sins are covered. No sin will never, ever be counted against you. It'll give you peace of mind, knowing on top of that you can be raised from the dead. How did it happen? Something rather large must have happened in year one, because we're all saying it's 2016 years since it happened. What could have happened that your calendar is based on it? Well, you say, well, what do they call all the years before Jesus showed up? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years since Jesus showed up, 7, 8, you get to 2016. You say, you call all the years before he got here, all the years before he got here. Right? You know why you're counting time by him? The creator of the cosmos has become a human being, coming forth out of a woman's womb, just like all of you, same kind of birth. The difference between this one and all of you, he got to the early teenage years and he grew in wisdom and stature, and he never made one mistake.